Welcome, Kobe. Thank you so much for joining us on Magical Women today. It's an honor to have you here, and I love your book. Congratulations. It's a wonderful accomplishment.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
The feeling is mutual. Can you tell us, please, a little bit about your start in magic? Because maybe people, particularly in North America, aren't familiar with you and your magic, and you've got quite an interesting story and career.
Yeah, well, thank you. Like most of us, I started at a very young age. I think I was 6 years old when my father showed me my first magic trick. It was a stripper deck, very easy. And I was completely fascinated by it, by magic and by circus. So I performed as a clown and did magic as a clown. And every holiday, I built a big circus in the garden of my parents and invited the entire neighborhood to give a show. And it was my dream to come on television, like many of us. And I think I was almost 18 years old when I performed on television for the biggest Belgian television network named Ketnet. I had my own television series there named Abracadabra with a theater show. It was very nice. I toured in Belgium and Netherlands with a show for like 2 or 3 years. I started acting. I'm an actor in Belgium. I mostly do musical theaters. I was the genie in Aladdin. I did Pumbaa in the official Disney's The Lion King in the Netherlands. I was Sebastian in The Little Mermaid, Disney's The Little Mermaid. So a lot of job, really nice. And next to acting, yeah, I'm also a magician, and I'm very interested in the history of magic. And in 2014, my father and I wrote our first magic book. I have it here. It's a chapeau, the hidden magic history of Belgium. It was with an exhibition in Ghent. And one day, an elderly woman came to me and she said, I think you know my aunt. And I was like, okay, who's your aunt? My aunt is Suzy Wandas. She was very big in America. I'm like, huh? She was the daughter of Suzy's brother, Louis. She gave a lot of information and was completely fascinated by Suzy Wandas. So I think it was in 2015 that I traveled to America to do some research over there and to write a book about Suzy Wandas, the lady with the fairy fingers. It appeared in Belgium in Dutch first. This is Belgium, the Dutch cover. And then we also have the American edition. We're very proud on that. And yeah, it's a fascinating story. And I love the history of magic. Every year we organize a History of the Magie. It's a one-day event. It's like History of Magic, a one-day event. And thanks to the books that we are publishing about it, the history of magic in Belgium is back alive again. And we do have more and more respect for the elderly magicians. So I'm very happy with that. My father was not really a magician, but he had one trick, and that was a stripper deck, and that's the trick that started it all.
Yeah. So does at this point in time, because he also participated in the book, did he not?
Yeah, that's correct. My father and I, we both do the research, we both do the writing. It's very nice to do that with your father. We do have some arguments sometimes, but we always make up, so it's no problem. I think he's very proud of our project together. He never would have dreamed that we could release a book, not even a book in America. It's really a dream come true. We worked very hard on that, so we're very happy with it.
And it's very much an in-depth book, and it reveals all kinds of little secrets and facets. You've done a lot of research, it's clear. Can you tell the audience how Suzy started her career? Because she didn't start technically in magic.
No, that's correct. She started walking on a wire. That was her first act, and she did that at the fairground. During that time, in the beginning of the 20th century, in Belgium and the Netherlands and France, there were a lot of fairground theaters. You had the circus theaters, the normal theaters, but also the magic theaters. And the father of Suzy had his own theater. There's, by the way, one picture of the father that you have. So that's the only picture that we have from the father. He had his own theater. And on the program was Suzy walking on a wire. And a couple of months ago, I acquired a new billboard. And it's typical Belgium because on the front, it's written in French. And at the back, it's written in Dutch. But if you see on the front, you can see a name written over here.
Yes. Jeanne. Yes, there she is.
Yeah, there's Jane Michelli. It's an old poster of her walking on a wire and playing the violin. And a few months ago, we discovered that original violin still exists today. Yeah, it's part of the family. Suzy had one brother, Louis. He was also in the act, and she had two sisters. But the sisters didn't have a magic career, not a show career. They became nun, went to the monastery. One went out of the monastery. She became a mother, and the daughter of her, she has the original violin of Suzy.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
remarkable. So, just for the viewers, can you just tell them all the different names Suzy had? Because it's a bit confusing if you don't know her history.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
several
okay.
names associated with her.
Yeah, Suzy was born Jeanne Van Dyke. That's her real name. And she started in magic as, she started her career as Suzy Whiteflower. That's her first name, Suzy Whiteflower. And then she became Suzy Wandas because she was part of the act that was named the Wandas Sisters. And that was an act not with her sister, but with her mother, because her mother looked very young, and it was more sexy to sell them as the Wanda sisters than as mother and daughter Wanda.
Yes, exactly. Um, so when she was Suzy Whiteflower, that included the circus acts and the violin act. But
Yeah,
when she became Suzy Wandas, that's when she became, that was representing her magic career,
yeah,
correct?
that was really her solo career. When she started going solo, she needed a new name. First, she performed under the name Miss Glory, but one or two times, and then it became Suzy Wandas. And it's quite normal because she was named Suzy Whiteflower in the beginning. Then she was part of the Wandas sisters. So Suzy of her first act and the Wandas from the second act, and that became Suzy Wandas.
And Wandas can be spelled with a V and a W. So anybody that's researching it, if they see the Wandas with a V or the Wandas with a W, it's the same Wandas,
Yeah,
correct?
it's the same because her original name is Jeanne Van Dyke, and Van Dyke became Vanda, and Vanda became Wanda.
Kobe, can you please tell us a little bit about the inspiration for Suzy?
Of course, of course. I think it was around 1910 that there was a performance in Brussels, Belgium, by Leroy, Talma, and Bosco. Leroy, yeah, we always say Le Roi. That's the French pronunciation of the name, but Leroy, Talma, and Bosco. Suzy was in the audience with her mother. And it was when Talma started doing the coin manipulation that Suzy's mother said, "Now watch closely because you're gonna do this in our show." It was they didn't have to buy big magic tricks. It were small objects, so they didn't have a lot of money. So it was easy for them to do only manipulation tricks because that was cheaper back then in those times. So she started performing with coins. She also saw at very young age a performance of T. Nelson Downs. T. Nelson Downs learned the trick to Suzy Wandas, and he stated this girl has really a lot of talent. So since young she was talented, and then she started learning doing the billiard balls routines with her mother, and that was the act. Suzy and her mother did coin manipulation, the billiard ball manipulations, and a few other tricks, and they toured in Italy during the First World War. And when they came back, Suzy saw Fraxon performing at in Brussels, Fraxon the cigarette man, and then she started doing the cigarette manipulation.
It's just so fascinating that she was inspired by Talma and that
Yeah.
she had T. Nelson Downs as a mentor and a teacher. I mean, and that he recognized that she was extremely
Yeah.
talented.
So you were quite impressed.
Absolutely.
And you once told me something that your mother.
Yeah, she told me, look well at Talma.
Oh, and why was that?
Yeah, I was inspired to see that work which she did with the coins.
Uh-huh.
And that was beautiful. And then my mother said to me, look at Talma, maybe one day you will do like she. I say, well.
Do you think that coming from a performer family with performance ingrained in her DNA and from a young, from a very young age being on stage and exposed to performance and audiences, that she had actually, that gave her like a larger chance for success, that experience, that early experience?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I also think that she learned at a very young age that life as an artist is hard. The fairground, they didn't earn a lot of money. It was hard traveling every day. It was cold in the winter. They had to practice to have a new show every day. So I think from a young age, Suzy learned that she had to work to have success. And the nice story is, yeah, at the end of her life, she was a big star. So that's so nice also.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's wonderful that she was recognized for all that hard work.
Yeah.
But I think it's so easy to diminish sometimes someone's success, and clearly she had a very strong foundation, of performance and discipline, and she earned her success. It wasn't given to her.
No, and certainly in that time, as a female magician, as a female performance, it was twice as hard as for a male magician. So also, she wore a dress. She couldn't have the balls in her side pockets. I don't know where everything was, but she had to invent it because it was new. A female magician with a dress and to hide everything away. So it was by trial and error, I suppose, that she became the big star as she was.
And also, it didn't hurt that she was very beautiful and glamorous.
No. I always tell if a friend of mine doesn't know who she is, I always explain, she was the Marilyn Monroe of magic.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Blonde bombshell.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this chat as much as I did, and you haven't already subscribed and hit the notifications bell, please do so. Oh, and don't forget to comment. We love to hear from you and to receive feedback so we can grow and improve our Magical Women channel and project.